Hello, learners of English. How are you doing today? Today, I've prepared something very interesting for our lesson. You know me, I'm an English teacher. I have lessons both in person and online with different students from all over the world. Sometimes my students ask me very interesting questions. These questions can be very challenging for me to answer sometimes. And honestly, I tell them, not of course all the time, but when I don't know the clear answer to their questions, I just tell them to go ask ChatGPT or any other AI tools. Today, I have collected all these questions, the challenging questions my students have asked me recently, and I'm going to ask all of them to Microsoft Copilot, which is an AI tool, the same as ChatGPT or any other AI tool that is popular these days. And I'm going to record the answer of AI, and I'm going to elaborate on its answer. This program might take just between 10 to 20 minutes. I hope you will stay with me all through the program. I think if you do that, if you stay with me and listen to the answers of AI, you're going to learn a lot of things from it. And some of the questions I'm going to ask AI might be your question. Hello, Microsoft Copilot. How are you doing today?
Hi, Hamed. I'm here. I'm ready to chat. What's on your mind today?
I'm contacting you right from a video recording where I am explaining to my students how they can learn English better and how they can use AI to help them with learning English. I've got some questions regarding the topic of learning English these days in the modern world and with the modern technology. Can you answer my questions?
Sure thing, Hamed. Let's dive in. What's your first question?
The first question is, how can we use movies and other materials such as books and podcasts, computer games to boost our English learning? First, let's start with movies. How can we use movies to help us learn English better?
Movies are a goldmine for learning English. They expose you to different accents, vocabulary, and real-life expressions. To make the most of it, watch with subtitles, pause and rewind to catch tricky phrases, and note down new words. Mimicking dialogues can also boost your speaking skills. Enjoy the learning ride. What's next?
Is it important to pick up a movie that interests us?
Absolutely. Choosing a movie that interests you is key. When you're engaged with the topic, you're more likely to stay focused and absorb the language. Plus, it makes learning fun. Ready for the next one?
In your answer, you said it's important to watch movies with the subtitle. Why is that so important?
Watching with subtitles helps bridge the gap between spoken and written English. It reinforces understanding, especially with new vocabulary or fast dialogue. It also boosts listening skills by connecting sounds to words. Over time, you can try without subtitles for an extra challenge. More questions?
Okay, let's now talk about using books in learning languages, particularly English. How can we use a book that is written in English? How can we make the most of a book to help us with language learning?
To make the most of an English book, choose a level that's challenging but not overwhelming. Look up words you don't know, but focus on understanding the context. Take notes, summarize chapters, and discuss them with others, or even record yourself summarizing the main points. It's a great way to immerse yourself in the language. Curious about anything else?
Okay, let me explain on the last answer, which was about making the most of English books to help you with the learning of language. First, we need to choose a book that is a bit above our level. So it needs to be just a bit challenging, but not very challenging. It has to be within our reach. It says the book should be challenging, but not overwhelming. Then we need to focus on understanding the context, the story of the book, the novel, whatever it is we are reading. We need to take notes and summarize the chapters of the novel, and then discuss the story of the book with others. While discussing it with others, we should be recording our voice. Then we can later play our own voice and reflect on the mistakes, grammar mistakes, or vocabulary mistakes that we made while we were summarizing the book. Okay, this is the key point here. So to make the most of a novel in English, you have to pick up a novel that is a bit above your English level, but not too much above your English level. It must be a bit challenging for you. Then we have to take notes of the key vocabulary and the key parts of the story of the book. The next step is to talk to someone about the book, summarizing the story of the book. While we are doing so, we should record our own voice, and then later on we can listen to our voice and reflect on the grammar mistakes, vocabulary mistakes we made during our summary. This is how we can make the most of a book in English. And as for the previous answer, my first question for ChatGPT, for Microsoft Copilot, whatever, was how can we make the most of English movies? It said we have to watch it with English subtitles, because there is always a gap between our understanding of the written English and the spoken English. Watching movies with subtitles can help us bridge that gap. Sometimes when we hear English dialogues from movies, we might not be able to fully understand them. But when we read the subtitle, we can grasp the language. It helps us with bridging the gap between spoken English and written English. And then it said the story of the movie we choose must be interesting to us. Sometimes we are simply not interested in the genre or in the story of the movie. Then how can we learn English with that movie if the plot and story don't interest us? Always pick up a movie whose story is interesting to you. There are other things we can do when it comes to learning English from an English movie. For example, we can pause the movie after every line of the dialogue and try to mimic what the characters said. It doesn't have to be exactly as they said it. We can try to say what they said in another structure, in another language. That is called paraphrasing. Paraphrasing can be done very effectively when we watch a movie, because we are watching a scene happening in front of our eyes, and then we are listening to the characters of the movie talking about that scene. We completely understand what's going on. This is a perfect moment for us to try to say what happens there in another structure, paraphrase the story of that particular scene. Another frequently asked question is why students cannot learn English properly at school? A lot of students from China have already asked me this question. Let's ask this question to Microsoft Copilot, and then I will elaborate on the answer. Hey, Copilot, I have another question to ask you. Are you ready?
Always ready, Hamed. What's your question?
Sometimes my students ask me why they couldn't learn English properly at school. This has been my own story as well. When I was at school, we had English lessons, I think 3 times a week for 2 hours. But after I graduated from school, I couldn't speak even one sentence in English. What's wrong with learning English at school? Why can't we learn effectively?
I get where you're coming from, Hamed. Schools often focus on grammar and vocabulary, but lack real-life communication practice. It results in students understanding the rules, but not being able to use the language naturally. Also, the lack of personalized attention and emphasis on passing exams rather than speaking confidently can hold learners back. You found ways to improve, though. What worked for you?
What are the ways to improve? What else can we do that focuses our attention on the natural use of English instead of emphasizing the grammar and rules?
Immerse yourself in the language. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, and chat with native speakers. Read books or articles on topics you love, so grammar rules come naturally through context. Join language exchange groups. Practice speaking and writing every day, even if it's just a little. Embrace mistakes as part of learning. What's your favorite way to immerse yourself in English?
It's said that we cannot learn English at school properly just because the school system focuses too much on rules and grammar. I even asked AI to help us with some solutions to tackle this problem. How can we use language properly instead of just focusing on the grammar and rules? This is the answer. I'm going to read it aloud one more time. Immerse yourself in the language. Watch movies, listen to podcasts. So the language comes naturally through context. The problem with learning English at school is they focus too much on grammar and rules. So we don't receive the language as a kid would receive the language when they are growing up in, say, an English-speaking country, in an English environment. If we can change the system of our schools from focusing on rules into focusing on the use of language in a natural way, then the problem will be solved. But for now, unfortunately, our school systems don't seem to get it right. The next question I'm going to ask AI is, how can we stay motivated in the process of learning English? Some of my students constantly ask me that they cannot stay motivated when they watch an English movie with the hope of learning English from that movie. And the reason this happens is they usually don't understand 50% of what the characters in the movie are saying. So they just stop the movie and get done with it. What can I tell them in response to this problem? How can I help them find a solution to this problem?
Start with simpler content like children's shows or movies with clear dialogue. Suggest turning on subtitles in English to connect spoken words with text. Encourage them to focus on understanding the main idea, not every word. Remind them it's normal to not catch everything at first. Break the movie into smaller segments and discuss what they understand. Progression can be slow, but it's all part of the journey. Maybe share your favorite movie for them to try.
let me recap what we learned from this answer. First, don't focus on understanding everything said in the dialogues. Try to understand only the main idea from each scene, and then break the movie into smaller segments. Watch every segment 2 times, 3 times, and then discuss what you understood from that segment with someone, an English partner of yours. If you have an English partner, you may ask him to help you watch this movie together. The next question is how much time we need to spend on learning English. In order to be fluent in English, let's imagine I am an intermediate student. I want to be a fluent English speaker. How much time do I need to spend learning English?
It really depends on your dedication and exposure. For an intermediate student, immersing yourself daily for around an hour with focused practice and real-life usage could lead to fluency in a couple of years. But it's not just about time, it's about how effectively you use that time. So consistent learning and using English in real situations really speed things up.
Okay. It says even with just 1 hour per day of immersing yourself in the language, you can become fluent in just a couple of years. I think that answers a lot of questions in your mind. And then the next and last question is, what kind of classes do we need to take? Does it have to be online lessons or in-person classes? Or is it better to take private lessons or group classes? Let me ask this question too. I am a learner of English and I would like to take some English lessons. Which one would you prefer? Online classes or in-person ones?
Both have their perks. Online classes are super flexible and let you connect with teachers worldwide, but in-person lessons might give you more immediate interaction and feedback. It really depends on your learning style and schedule. What's your preference?
And between private lessons and group classes, which one works better?
Private lessons are tailored just for you, so you get personalised attention and can progress at your own pace. Group classes, on the other hand, offer interaction and learning from others' questions and experiences. It really depends on whether you prefer a customised approach or a more social, collaborative environment. What do you think suits you best?
Okay, let me elaborate on this answer. Private lessons, it says private lessons are tailored just for you. The teacher can create a plan that works best only for you. On the other hand, group classes help you interact with other students and learn from real social experiences. As for the difference between online classes and group classes, the answer was online classes are more flexible. You don't have to spend time on the commute to any language school. You can sit and learn English from the comfort of your room. That is a very big advantage of online classes. Whereas in-person lessons can help you interact better with people that you meet in real life. Okay, this was almost all of the questions. Not exactly all of them, because I'm afraid this lesson has already lasted too long. But I tried to ask AI almost all important questions I had in mind. If there is any question that I missed, you may drop it down in the comment section. I will prepare another video and ask your question in that video as well. Please Tell me what you thought about this lesson. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Take care.